Hey y'all, how are you doing today? This is my first preaching ever. I just wanted to share this because God and the Lord was just putting this on my mind, and I wanted to share y'all with this preaching, okay? So, the preaching I'm about to preach is called "Don't Be Greedy, Be Godly." All right. So, who has their Bibles in here? I mean, does anybody have their Bibles in here? All right. So, if anybody has their Bibles, I don't really care if it's their phone Bible or whatever. We're going to be in Leviticus chapter 6 today, and we're going to be in verses 1, and we're going to finish in verse 7. Y'all ready to read it? Let's go. It says, "The Lord told Moses what the people must do when they commit other sins against the Lord." Listen carefully to this next part. You ready? "You have sinned if you rob or cheat someone, if you keep back money or valuables left in your care, or if you find something and claim not to have it. When this happens, you must return what doesn't belong to you and pay the owner a fine of 20%. In addition, you must either bring to the priest a ram that has nothing wrong with it, or else pay him for one. The priest will then offer it as a sacrifice to make things right, and you will be forgiven for what you did wrong." So y'all, what was that verse talking about? What were all those verses talking about? Right? Back then, they were going through a lot of slavery, right? The people were going through a lot of slavery. And honestly, we can learn a thing or two over the implied Bible verses that the Bible gives us. But what this is telling us is what we're getting at here is simply that if we rob or cheat someone of their own belongings, or if you find something and claim not to have it, and if you keep back money, then that's robbing or cheating someone of their own valuables. And listen, the world often teaches us so wrongly about that. The world is like, oh, finders keepers. You get to keep the money that was not belonged to you. But we have to look at it in a godly perspective and say, no, that isn't right, because God told us if we don't know who we gave it to, right? If someone just dropped money and we see them and we see the person that dropped the money, we don't pick it up and bring it to them. We're often like, oh, picky pockets. No, that's not really how that works, because if we look at it in a godly perspective, again, we need to be people that pick up our money and bring it to the person that had it first, right? We don't want to be people that take things without permission. And that's what we often believe, and that's what the world often believes, you know? And so, you know, just a simple message. What these verses is trying to tell you is, don't be greedy. Just never be greedy. When it comes to God, if you love Jesus with all your heart and soul, just don't be greedy, because God was compassionate back then. You know, God was still the compassionate God that he is now. And he's still the honest God that he was now. Because if you think about it, we need to be honest too, as God has been honest to us. We need to be compassionate as God has been compassionate to us. And also we need to forgive others as God has forgiven us. But again, we hold grudges and all of that. So, Yeah, so simply what I am trying to tell you, and the thing went off. What I'm trying to tell you is just don't be greedy. Just don't be greedy. Guys, if you see someone that dropped their money or dropped whatever the belongings that they have, pick it up and give it to them. I mean that's just the way that it is. If you're not going to be godly, then you're greedy. And you know that greed is a sin in the Bible. And we don't want to be greedy, do we? So that's why I'm trying to tell you today, do not be greedy. If someone's belongings were dropped, you pick them up for them and you be compassionate and you also be honest. Right? Even though a lot of us aren't honest. Ultimately, we need to show the world that we are honest and we are compassionate for those people around us. And also that we need to stop stealing, but we need to give back what doesn't belong to us. Right? So, just a simple word for you. If you need that today, if you struggle with greed, if you struggle with all that, I just encourage you, just pray to God about everything because He is the ultimate source of everything. So just pray to God over everything. Just don't be greedy, be godly. It's simple. Just don't be the ones that hide things, be the ones that reveal things honestly to the people around us. So yeah, I wanted to share that quick message with y'all today, just to say don't be greedy, be godly. And God's been on my mind lately, and He wanted me to share it with y'all. So I hope y'all got a lot with this message, and I hope y'all have the most God-blessed day, and hope you got a lot out of it. Thank you for listening. We'll see you for the next preaching. Bye.